Good evening to you all, and thank you for joining us here on Rwanda Television News tonight. We do hope you had yourselves a very productive day. Now, top of our edition, these are our headlines. Senators here in Rwanda have been noting that providing financial support to efforts geared towards doing research on the 1994 genocide against the Tutsi is one way of helping the government to counter those that deny and negate the genocide. The launch of the Smart Mobility Lab project represents a significant technological advancement in transportation. On the international scale, there seems a little the world can do for the moment, but simply watch Haiti slide further and further into anarchy. We're glad to have your company coming to you straight from the city of Kigali. My name is Martina Avera. As we begin this edition of the news, let us first briefly inform you that on Tuesday afternoon at Intare Arena here in Kigali, the President of the Republic, His Excellency Paul Kagame, opened a retreat with cabinet members and other senior officials focused on delivering Rwanda's goals of socio-economic transformation. The retreat is set to end on Wednesday. Now, senators here in Rwanda have been noting that providing financial support to efforts geared towards doing research on the 1994 genocide against the Tutsi is one way of helping the government to counter those around the world who try to deny and negate the genocide. The observation was made during a consultative meeting on Tuesday that brought researchers and other historians, as well as members of standing committees from both chambers in Parliament. Research done by the Senate Standing Committee on Foreign Affairs, Cooperation and Security back in 2019 found the genocidal ideologies are high among Rwandans living abroad, and that many are determined to pass on such ideologies to younger generations. It has also been found that such ideologies do exist within Rwanda, seen as a threat to all Rwandans have achieved in the last 30 years if left unchecked. 16 of Rwanda's 30 districts have now fully documented accurate accounts of what's transpired in them during the 1994 genocide against the Tutsi, and in the near future, digital archives of what happened here in Rwanda when the country was still divided into prefectures, communes, and cells will also be available. Rwanda will be hosting the Africa Food Systems Summit this year in September, and on Tuesday next week, the official launch ceremony will take place here in Kigali. Earlier, we spoke to the Managing Director of Africa Food Systems Forum on the significance of this coming event to the African continent. Take a look.
In this edition of the news, we are joined by Mr. Amath Patesen, the Africa Food Systems Forum Managing Director, who will be speaking to us about the coming forum and preparations for it. Mr. Pate, welcome.
Thank you. Thank you.
My first question to you is, for the sake of our viewers who may not know what this is, what is the Africa Food Systems Forum?
So thank you very much for hosting me. The Africa Food System Forum is the largest forum on the continent when it comes to food system and also agriculture. So it brings a varieties and a range stakeholders from government policymakers, from investors, from academia, farmers, young people, all come together to move forward the agenda in terms of food system transformation. In other terms, feeding the continent, but also creating jobs, opportunities for young people and for women on the continent.
And what will the launch ceremony of the forum focus on?
So the launch ceremony that will happen next week on 26th at the Kigali Convention Center here in Kigali is a kind of a drumbeat event. It's a kickstart where the forum itself come with the host country, the government of Rwanda, bring also all the partners and our local partners, international partners, to announce the theme of this year, the theme which is this year innovation, accelerate, scale, delivering food system in a climate and digital era. Here we are focusing on youth and women, and that event will gather most of the government officials, and it will be chaired by His Excellency the Prime Minister of Rwanda, and also other ministers, sector ministers, and investors.
And who will be some of the key speakers at that event?
So the key speakers are as follow. So we will have ministers, Ministry of Agriculture and Animal Resources. You have also, as we talk about food system, you have other sectors, Ministry of Health, Ministry of Youth, Ministry of Trade and Commerce, because here we are talking really not agriculture stricto sensus, but it's agriculture, the entire value chain and all the actors around. So the CEO of RDB and the CEO of RCB, the entire ecosystem here. We will have also ambassadors represented here in Rwanda. We do have also our 29 partners that support the Africa Food System Forum, USAID, MasterCard, FAO, UN agencies, and also, of course, the young people and women, the one we are serving, academia, and all the entire ecosystem. So all of them will be there and will be also discussing, this food system transformation.
Okay. In light of Africa's current food situation, how do events like the Africa Food Systems Forum help to address the continent's food production challenges as we move into the future? So
the continent obviously faced those challenges, which is feeding, our people, but also it's not only feeding, food security, but also nutrition security. And the job creation is also another element which we need to bring in, and it is very important for all policymakers. So how this forum will help is, it's one of the largest one, which brings every single year our policymakers for the following objective. Number one is the continental agenda. So setting the direction, what we want as African, and how do we also trade internally to make sure that we produce enough locally, feed the communities, but also trade between us and create job opportunity. Number two is whatever we are doing require also some reforms because it's a holistic and integrated way of doing business. We have to work together between different sectors to make sure that this happens. So the different policies and different plans that need to be in place in order to get the investment, which is the number three, investment facilitation. Here we are talking really about unlocking, private sector investment that can come to the sector, make sure that, the sector has enough resources so we produce locally enough and be able also to trade with the rest of the world. And fourth is partnership. When you come to this forum, you're also looking for opportunity to partner, to work with others across the world, but also within the African countries, and grow your network and collaboration and partnership. And this is what is bringing us around, and why it is really important, because it's really every year and a big event which will be under the leadership of His Excellency President Kagame and other head of states. It will happen here from 2nd to 6th September this year at the Kigali Convention Center. And we are looking forward to welcoming everybody here and make this forum a very successful one.
Okay, is there anything else you would like to add before we conclude this interview?
So I think one key message is we are a continent of opportunity, and a continent of opportunity that can feed itself, and at the same time also create wealth. So I think this forum is a place where we can make this happen. And also Rwanda is a land of opportunity, a land of transformation, where inspiration can also be shown as a homegrown solution, and how we can do it also on the entire continent.
Mr. Amath Patteh-Sene, Africa Food Systems Forum Managing Director, thank you for taking the time to speak to Rwanda Television.
Thank you very much for inviting me.
Yeah, moving on, the government of Rwanda and the government of the People's Republic of China have reaffirmed their commitment to strengthen bilateral cooperation for mutual benefit. This pledge was announced during the 9th session of the Rwanda-China Joint Committee on Economic, Technical and Trade Cooperation. Both parties expressed satisfaction with the achievements in bilateral cooperation, particularly in trade and investment, economic and technical collaboration, infrastructure development, human resource development, capacity building, and digital partnership.
I want to reiterate our appreciation of the successful cooperation between our two countries. During this session, we have reviewed the progress in the implementation of ongoing projects in the framework of our bilateral cooperation, covering a range of sectors, including infrastructure, mainly transport and construction, but also agriculture, focusing on irrigation and the other sectors, health, mostly construction of health facilities, but also cooperation in the medical sector. Also the progress in business promotion and mainly our export to China, but also foreign direct investment of Chinese companies in Rwanda.
The current bilateral cooperation agreement covers projects worth $600 million US. Completed infrastructure projects under this agreement include the extension of IPRC Musanze, the 200 borehole well project, Kigali Urban Road Upgrading Project, upgrading works of Huye Chibeho, Munini Ngoma Road Project, and the Sonatube Gahanga Road. Projects currently under implementation comprise the Masaka Hospital renovation and expansion project, Nyabarongo, the second hydro plant project, smart education project, among others.
We have discussed in details on existing projects, and we agreed to accelerate the process. But also, we have discussed the new projects. New roads, mainly connecting to other projects financed by China in Rwanda. We also expressed our priorities in the agriculture sector. We appreciate that Giseke irrigation has been already included in the concession loan financing. And we have more projects in the area of irrigation. This is a strategic program for Rwanda to increase the resilience of agriculture to climate change. We have also discussed opportunities in the industrial sector, mainly the development of industrial parks.
In 2023, bilateral trade between the two nations exceeded $500 million US, marking a 16.5% year-on-year increase. Moving forward, JETCO is prepared to align Rwanda's Vision 2050 with China's Belt and Road Initiative, develop plans for economic and trade cooperation in the global context, and continually enhance bilateral cooperation levels. The Commissioner of the Botswana Prison Service, Anthony Manjubu Mokento, and his delegation has visited the Kigali Genocide Memorial at Gisozi and the Campaign Against Genocide Museum at the Parliament Building. The Commissioner noted that the atrocities that were committed here in Rwanda in 1994 are heartbreaking and should be denounced by all.
What I saw today, one never really expected to believe that this thing ever happened. But yes, the experience, what we have gone through has confirmed what we read, what we are told. But we really thank God Almighty for the Rwandan people to have survived and remained united as a nation and get the strength and moved on to where we see them. And we can only pray that God continues to survive them. Thank you.
Anthony Manjubu Mokento and his delegation are on a one-week working visit here in Rwanda and are expected to exchange experiences on correctional services and visit different institutions, including the Nyarugenge Correctional Facility, as well as a Unity and Reconciliation Settlement in Bugesera District. USAID Ibitabo Kuri Twese, with an aim of distributing books and learning materials in schools, facilitated a roundtable discussion between banks, private sector actors, and government institutions in the market system for teaching and learning materials. Christelle Wase has more on this report.
It is only after there have been a huge amount of money spent by the government in importing books from other countries, especially that when they reach in the country, they are not affordable. The roundtable discussions aimed at finding the solution to an easy access and support from the government to the producers.
The reason why we came here today was to meet with the different actors in the TLM market system to be able to understand what are the different challenges related to the financial needs, but also related to the existing financial product or financial services.
On the other hand, the private sector actors say that the problem they face is not that the books are few in the country, but they do not get enough support and funding from the government and financial institutions.
What I can assure you is that the capacity is there. What we are missing is just to sit together and then to see where we need to improve, and then to come up with a solution. Because after 30 years, Rwanda have been developing. Today we have enough capacity. There's no need of importing books when we have capacity here. And then at the same time, I would like also to bring the decision maker, the policy makers, to fix issues like when you print a book in Rwanda, it's paying tax, VAT. And when you import it from India or China, it's exempted from taxes. So, you know, it's not giving us the opportunity or the chance to be competitive.
The representative of one of the financial institutions, Pascal Nkunziza, applauded the meeting today as they were able to identify the challenge both sides are facing and learn about a solution that will assist the private sectors to get enough books.
Through this discussion we have, the MSD market system approach that we are implementing right now, that we are discussing on, it's where we as a bank, we need a de-risking mechanism, for example. The EDC and USAID are backing us so that we can support the people that they are living with the EDC and USAID for a long time. So for us, we don't have more discussions with them, but currently, so as long as the EDC is supporting the system, Equity or any other bank is supporting the system, so that is good, because anyone, through his responsibilities, we are going to achieve. The end in mind is just to promote education into Rwandan generation.
The conference was not only aimed at learning about issues and how to expand the market for teaching and learning materials, but also training all institutions in innovation and spreading the culture of reading in schools through a $6 million fund from USAID initiative Ibitabo Kuri Twese in 3 years. Christelle Oase, RwandaTV News.
The launch of the Smart Mobility Lab project represents a significant technological advancement in transportation. This initiative aims to address challenges encountered in the use of electric vehicles, offering innovative solutions to enhance mobility, efficiency, and sustainability. Adam Squizera with more.
It has been 6 years since the Volkswagen Mobility Solutions started its operations in Rwanda. In 2019, the company made a significant stride by introducing electric cars to the Rwandan market, marking a pioneering move in the region where electric vehicles were not yet commonplace. Serge Kamuhinda, the chief executive officer of Volkswagen Rwanda, acknowledged the effective role played by the government of Rwanda in facilitating investors who import electric cars and motorcycles to the country. However, he highlights remaining challenges, such as the lack of infrastructure for charging stations and shortage of technical skills in maintaining and repairing these vehicles.
consumers. They are concerned about the spread of the infrastructure for charging. They are concerned about the resale value of the electric vehicle. And they are also concerned about the after-sales service. What will happen if the car needs repair and maintenance?
The absence of charging stations is a significant challenge that is widely recognized by many individuals. Imagine when a passenger wants to go in Nyamata or Guamagana. This situation may result in individuals being compelled to stay and work within Kigali, potentially leading to financial losses due to constrained mobility options. It takes approximately 1 hour and 15 minutes for battery charging, which can be attributed to the limited availability of charging stations. This extended waiting period often results in time wastage and can lead to productivity loss for me. On Tuesday, the German Development Agency GSAID, in collaboration with the government of Rwanda and other stakeholders, officially launched the Smart Mobility Lab. This initiative is geared towards advancing technology in transportation sector, aiming to foster innovation and development in mobility solutions. The project manager of this initiative affirms that the program is anticipated to address some of the challenges voiced by the users of the electric vehicles.
More discussing about leasing models and so that you don't have to pay the upfront costs in the beginning, but rather pay a monthly fee for the use of electric vehicles, that you can get also a package where the electricity is already included for charging. So we really have to think about the whole system as such, and we are not just talking about electric cars, but really also about electric motors, electric bicycles. And here I think this can there are different types of vehicles for urban areas, for rural areas, and that is, I think, very promising also for Rwanda.
In alignment with its goal to reduce greenhouse gas emissions by 38% by 2030, Rwanda took significant steps in 2021, where the government implemented a 58% tax reduction through incentives for electric cars, demonstrating its commitment to promoting sustainable transportation options and combating climate change. Adam Squizera, RTV News.
Serge Kamuhinda, the Chief Executive Officer of Volkswagen Rwanda, appreciates the government of Rwanda through its effective support in facilitating investors who import electric vehicles to the country. However, he underscores persisting challenges, including the inadequate infrastructure for charging stations and a shortage of technical expertise in maintaining and repairing these vehicles, whereas he finds that this Smart Mobility Lab will effectively address some of those challenges in the transport sector.
Trying to shape mobility for generations to come throughout Africa, starting in Rwanda. And in Rwanda, we started our electric vehicles to introduce them in 2019. 2021, the government issued the most comprehensive policy on the promotion of electric mobility. Since then, we've seen a very positive trend. Many people are introducing hybrid and electric vehicles, and including us, we are also going to widen the variety of electric vehicles that we have. For example, this year we are going to introduce a vehicle called ID4. It's an SUV, an electric SUV. We've also increased the charging infrastructure. However, there are still challenges, and this is why we have set up this mobility lab. It is supposed to coordinate all stakeholders within a mobility ecosystem so that the uptake of modern mobility solutions can be faster, better coordinated at a cheaper cost. I would say the uptake is positive, especially if you compare to other countries. In Rwanda, we don't have range anxiety, which is one of the biggest concerns for bigger countries that have long distances to travel. And in Rwanda, generally people embrace innovation quite fast. There are still concerns from the side of consumers. They are concerned about the spread of the infrastructure for charging. They are concerned about the resale value of the electric vehicle. And they are also concerned about the after-sales service. What will happen if the car needs repair and maintenance? And what we are trying to do in the Smart Mobility Lab is to see how we can jointly collaborate to address those concerns. For example, you may find that for charging infrastructure, it doesn't really make sense to have captive charging stations for one service provider only. We should share infrastructure, so it means we need to have common standards. For after sales, you may find that initially the number of vehicles that is on the road may not be enough to sustain many workshops. We can bundle expertise and bundle infrastructure so that we can have very fast and good after-sales solutions. We, for example, also face a challenge when it comes to charging of the need of transformers to stabilize the grid. And these are quite expensive. And if we work together, we can at least determine where should we put the charging infrastructure so that we can minimize the costs.
Officials at the National Child Development Agency are thanking the country's social workers for their role in fighting crimes related to child abuse and other problems that affect the family unit. Rwanda currently has 29,674 social workers who are a pair of volunteers, both male and female, in each of the country's settlements. The government's partners in its efforts to protect the rights of children are calling on the general public to realize that ensuring that children get a proper upbringing is everybody's responsibility.
They need to be protected. They need to grow up in an environment where they are not exposed to things that sort of affect their own progression in life. If they are not able to get that protection, they miss out on school, they miss out on health, milestones, and as a result, you end up without citizens who are healthy, who are functioning well, and who contribute fully to the growth and development of their country.
Rwanda has joined the rest of the globe in celebrating World Social Work Day, and social workers attribute their success to working closely with local officials, security organs, and organizations that provide legal assistance when necessary. MTN Rwanda has released its audited financial results for the period ended 31st December 2023 through the Rwanda Stock Exchange. The company sustained commercial momentum, leading to a service revenue growth of 11.2% year-on-year, driven by strong growth in data, fintech, and enterprise business units. Data revenues recorded a 21.4% growth year-on-year, attributable to the 14.3% growth in active data customers, as well as the introduction of MTN's 4G network, which delivered a remarkable 506% increase in 4G users who now enjoy improved connectivity and faster data speeds. Also supporting data revenue growth was the 26% year-on-year increase in smartphones connected to the company's network, resulting in a 27% smartphone penetration. This was driven by the widespread adoption of the Mache device financing program, which enabled more users to enjoy internet access and engage with data-driven services and applications. This growth in data traffic of 20.8% not only underscores MTN Rwanda's contribution to closing the digital divide, but also reaffirms its belief that everyone deserves the benefits of a modern, connected life. The company is strategically positioned to provide best-in-class connectivity operations whilst delivering an excellent digital experience to customers as it continues to provide leading digital solutions for Rwanda's development. And on behalf of the news production team as well as the technical team, would like to thank you very much for sticking with us on RTV News. My name is Martina Abera. Stay safe and have a great night.